Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a very interesting video to get into because we have some Switch 2 leaks, rumors, updates, and literally like 10 of them to go over. And some of these are actually amazing. Finally, some positive news. So let's go ahead and get right into this video. So again, we are one day closer to the release of the Nintendo Switch 2. Time is truly flying. And today's video, man, we have so much news, so much rumors, leaks, updates, all that good stuff. And a lot of it is actually positive for once. I know. Is hell finally freezing over? Now, remember, I'm giving away a Switch 2 in July. I'm giving away another Switch 2 closer to the holidays. And every single Saturday for the whole year, I'm giving away multiple eShop gift cards right here on my channel. So make sure you're a subscriber, following my social medias, liking and commenting on all the videos. And just for fun, today, I am going to give away an eShop gift card because I have an extra one to one of my Instagram or Twitter followers. So yeah, I have 8 updates today, 8 pieces of news. Which one do I start with? So let's start with the Switch 2's price, right? Currently, we feel like, at least I feel like, the console is a tad bit too expensive. But to play devil's advocate, I still think it's fairly priced, but it's just more out of the realms than I expected, right? I was thinking $400 would be the max price, and now we know it's $450 and $500 for the bundle, so it is what it is. Does that mean Nintendo is making a profit on these? A lot of times, a lot of these bigger gaming companies actually lose money on the consoles, and what they do is just make up for it, like in software sales. Now, is that what the case is this time? Because if they're selling it for this much money, I would assume it's that case, but I don't think that's actually true. So a Switch 2 customs data lists it at $338 per unit, meaning it's being sold at a loss in Japan. This is before shipping and tariffs. I think the console might cost $350 or $360 in Japan, like the equivalent of $360 US. And this is the price per unit, and then you got to factor in retailers taking their cut and this and that and the third, so they're not making any money on the consoles. Now in America, we know it's $450 and $500, but that's before retailers taking a cut and shipping and tariffs and some other fees I'm sure that are packed in there. I don't think it's profitable at all. Now we might have a small insight into some new games coming to Nintendo Switch Online, and these games, even though they're for a console that will technically be on the Switch 2 and the Switch, won't probably work, or I don't know if they won't work, but wouldn't make sense on the Switch. And I'm talking about some Super Nintendo games. Mouse support on Nintendo's Super Nintendo app received a lot of interesting updates last year, possibly to prepare for Super Nintendo mouse games playable with the Switch 2 mouse. And I do remember this happening, and whatever update happened, and we were all thinking, why would that happen? And this is before we got rumors about mouse controls and all those leaks, and now we know that's a thing. And then I think during this same data mine leak, I'm pretty sure that's what it was, there was updates for Mario Paint, which is going to be, that's going to be so fun. Now, I do think it's partly novelty. It might be fun for a little bit, but you can just open paint.net on your computer and do the same thing. So it's cool, but I do think we're going to get some weird updates like this. And eventually, probably, it would make sense to do like a new Mario Paint game. Probably, right? I think we're actually going to get a lot of weird and wacky mouse control games or games that are targeted to that. And it's going to make or break the mouse controls. It's going to be like, is this cool? Is this something we're going to use all the time? Or is this something that is interesting for one day and then we're like, all right, where's the real Mario games, right? Now, do you guys remember that there was a rumor that the Switch 2 was going to come out the beginning of the year? Actually, it was supposed to come out last year. That's what the first leaks and rumors and all that stuff was. And I can't remember the exact reason why it got delayed. I feel dumb because I've covered this in a million videos, but there was some reason why it got delayed. And yeah, well, it got delayed. That's the point I'm trying to make. But now we know it's coming out June 5th or June 4th at midnight, which is still technically June 5th. But yeah, I guess the Switch 2, even this year, was going to come out earlier. Arc System Works leak shows they were originally planning on launching a Switch 2 exclusive game in March 2025. This could imply that the Switch 2 was originally targeting a March release. And this would just be the same thing as a Switch launch, right? I didn't get it at launch, but I think it launched March 17th or somewhere around there. Whoa, now I'm just thinking about this for the first time. I think this might be the very first console in my entire life that I got at launch. That's crazy. Because I got my Switch used in 2018. I got a GameCube like the first or second year, but I got it on Black Friday. I've only got like 2 or 3 consoles new in my entire life, but I don't think I've ever got one day one. Crazy. This is actually my first day one console launch in my entire life. Man, what a crazy thing to think about. But yeah, I wonder what game this is. Somebody down here said, my guess is that they're spearheading Project X Zone 3, perhaps with support from Monolith. Just basing that off being some rumors of that being developed. Plus, supposedly this is a crossover title. Bandai presumably would be the publisher. I wonder what that is. And they're saying this wasn't in the Switch 2 launch, but they think this might be a holiday season game now. Dude, this video is crazy. I still have like 5 updates and leaks and rumors, all that good stuff. People who did not get a Switch 2 pre-order. I was able to pre-order 2. Maybe I'm the chosen one. Maybe I'm just cool. Or maybe I just got extremely freaking lucky, and I think that's the case. I got one from Best Buy and one from Walmart. Now, a couple days ago, Nintendo did their own. But if you still were not able to get one, do not worry. Because we have some good news about being able to get them day one in person. Just getting there early, pretty much. Just spoke with a Nintendo brand ambassador at my local Target. He said most, if not all retailers will have some available consoles in stock on launch day. Basically, he's just saying, I asked this guy this, that, whatever. And then somebody down here, Target employee here. My store will be getting 50 consoles only, plus 60 bundles for launch. So that's 110 consoles right there. And this is not for pre-ordering, right? These are people who are just going to get there early and buy a console. Go early. I mean, don't even go early. These stores open up at like 10 o'clock. Go midnight the night before. You know, for pre-orders, people are getting there pretty early and lining up at like 6 a.m. and they're like, yeah, there's a couple people here. Or some people, there was nobody in line. Some people got to GameStop after 10 o'clock and nobody was in line. This is not the same case, buddy. You need to get there whatever time Target closes the night before, 10, 11, 12. Start lining up then, because this is where it's going to get crazy, right? And then, you know, you have people doing midnight release like me at Best Buy and at GameStop. And then you have people going there pick up their pre-order when Target's opening up, and then they might want to buy a second console if possible. This is just somebody at Target saying this. I'm going to assume that's every Target doing the same thing. And then Walmart probably going to do the same thing. And then Best Buy and then GameStop is going to have some for their stores as well. So even if you were not able to get it through pre-orders, don't worry, man. I think there's still an option there, especially because Nintendo said they're going to sell 15 million consoles from release to like next March or something. So before we get into some more updates or whatever, look at this. This is from the new Nintendo app video that they're putting out every day. Right here, there's a little thing that's in a red rectangle, so you can obviously see that, but you can lock your system with a PIN number now, which is really cool. And this was never a thing on the Switch, and I tried it, I think when I first got my very first Switch, putting a PIN number. Now that you can do this, I think it's just neat. This is something that they could have did a long time ago, and they should have did probably. I've heard that if you have like parental controls on the Switch, you can put a PIN number that way. But this is on the Switch too, so I wonder if they will just do like a system update and put this for the Switch as well. That just makes sense. Like, why not do that? But yeah, small update. I just find it pretty cool. Now, a big discourse around the Nintendo Switch 2 is game key cards, and yesterday we went over that Nintendo's only offering 64 gigabyte cards, and they're charging $16 each for them or something. So that's the reason why a lot of companies are going this way. Well, Limited Run, and I'm going to assume Super Rare as well, they'll be making set physical games for the Nintendo Switch 2. And these will probably be in a huge demand, like way more than Switch games were because of this whole situation. But they gave us a really promising update. Any Limited Run numbered release for the Switch 2 will contain the full game on the cartridge, aka a true physical release. Game released as a partnership and therefore not a numbered release may be published as a game key card, leaving the decision to the third party. I have never really cared that much. Like a lot of games like Hollow Knight, I got digital because it was like 10 or 15 bucks on sale. Undertale I got for like $10 on sale. I'm trying to think of games I would like to own physically, but it just made more sense to get them cheaper, like way cheaper. For the Nintendo Switch 2, even if there's a game that's like 15 or 20 bucks digitally, I still might go the limited run route just because, like, how much longer are physical games going to be around, you know what I mean? So yeah, this is very promising. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in America, possibly in Canada, I have not checked, but we have Sam's Club and Costco, retailers where you can buy a bunch of stuff in bulk. And a great thing about these retailers is they have gaming sections where you get incredible deals. And we know Costco has their own Nintendo Switch 2 bundle, where you're getting like an expansion pass for 12 months and probably some other stuff, and it's like $530 or it's a great deal is what I'm trying to say. A great thing about that bundle is you can't pre-order it. You have to go to the store day one and pick it up, and you're only allowed to buy like one per week, so there's no scalping going on, at least hopefully. Costco just gave us another update about a new Switch 2 game that's going to come out that we all want, and it's like a lot cheaper at Costco. So Costco is going to have Donkey Kong Bonanza for the Nintendo Switch 2, obviously, for $62.99, and you can physically pre-order this now. So you're saving like what, $8, $7, whatever? Dude, that's a good deal. You know what I mean? Like $70, I'm not a fan of it. 62 or 63, it's like, okay. Costco, you need a membership. It actually might be worth it to get a membership strictly for the video game stuff, and then you're obviously going to save money on like groceries, and they have like Costco hot dogs and pretzels and all that stuff for like $1. Good food for a good price. But yeah, I think I'm going to get a Costco membership because if we're getting deals like this all the time, it's definitely going to be worth it. Now, a major day one Switch 2 game is Hogwarts Legacy. I beat it on the Switch. I loved every second of it. Probably the jankiest game I've played in a long time. Unfortunately, Hogwarts Legacy is going to be $60 for the Switch 2, which is whatever, at least it's not $70. We have Digital Foundry saying the game has got a great resolution and it looks amazing, but then you have people at the Nintendo Switch 2 hands-on experiences saying it's the worst game by far and it looks horrible, and I'm going to believe the people who actually played it, so, you know, it is what it is. I still do want to pick it up, but I'm not paying $60 for it. But luckily, we don't have to. Hogwarts Legacy for Nintendo Switch 2 will be available for pre-order at $59.99. This is euros, I think, or pounds or something. But digital owners of the game for the Nintendo Switch can buy it for only $10. So you're getting the upgrade for $10. And this is the same exact thing that Sony offers with the PS5. Buy a PS4 game, put it in your PlayStation 5. Sometimes you get the free update like Cyberpunk, or other times it's only $10. So you can pick up Hogwarts Legacy right now on an eShop sale for like $20, sometimes $17. This is one of those times where I would take the digital route over the physical route. You know what I mean? So yeah, finally some good news about Hogwarts Legacy. But ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about this? Because your opinion matters most. In the comments below, I would love to hear from you. We went over like 10 things today. Majority of them pretty good. So yeah, finally some amazing Switch 2 news. And yeah, follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram. And you guys know me. I'll see you very soon with a new video. Peace out.